Welcome to Unchained, everybody, with Adrienne. We have our co-host Mandy on the line.
Hey, everybody.
All right, this is our very first episode of Unchained with Adrienne and Mandy. So raise your glasses. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink.
Clink, 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 clink.
All right. That's pretty good. All right, so guys, this is our very first episode of Unchained. And this series of 12 episodes, we're going to be talking about the topics of forgive and forget. All right. So,
Okay.
the very first episode, which is all about what was the episode called, Mandy?
Loose preacher, was that it?
The Loose Pastor.
The loose pastor.
The Loose Pastor. That's the very first episode, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So the situation has come about. A young lady is going to a church for a number of years, very involved with a family, the family of the pastor as well as the pastor, in so many different ministries or whatever. So one day, the pastor comes over to the girl's house. And the pastor says, you want to give me a massage? The girl thinks nothing of it because it's a normal thing that she does for he and his wife, but normally they're together. The girl is a masseuse part-time. So she says yes, and she lets her pastor in. Well, he's sitting in the chair, and she puts her hand to his neck to massage it, and all of a sudden he turns around and grabs her shoulder to pull her in, and she jumps back.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Yes. She's like, what's going on? And she says that the pastor is like, you don't know what you do to me.
Huh?
Yes. The girl said, the guy was like, you don't know what you do to me. The pastor is like, you don't know what you do to me. The girl was saying she was very distraught. She asked the pastor to leave. The pastor called her a number of times, offered her all kinds of gifts and favors. Needless to say, the girl stopped going to the church. Well, after that, the girl is starting to receive threats from church members as well as the pastor's wife. Of course, because she hadn't gone back to the church. She didn't know what was being said or whatever, but she knew it definitely wasn't in her favor. Long story short, she said this happened a couple years ago, and she ends up seeing the same pastor recently, and the pastor just walked up to her like it was nothing.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was just like, hi, how are you doing? And she said she was kind of shocked, and she was like, hi, I'm fine. So anyway, here's the question, Unchained. Mandy, should she forgive and forget? Or should she forget
I would most certainly.
it?
Well, I would most certainly say forgive, but that forget part, you cannot forget that. Whether or not he's in the church or not, it was still wrong. He was married, and at the end of the day, you were put in an uncomfortable situation. Never should have did that to you.
That's very much true. I think from my own perspective, I would say, and just for you Unchained followers who don't know, this situation is my own. So I want to encourage you to not be afraid to send topics or to tell what your truth is or what your issue is, because this very situation happened to me. So in reality, my response to this is I forgave, and I can't forget, because to me this man was like a father figure to me, and it seems to me that he took my kindness and turned it into some kind of warped sense of sexual attraction, which I had none for. At the time, I dated his son on and off for a while, so I had no reason or no interest in him, and him being almost 30, 40 years older than I was. It was kind of sick. But long story short, the overall thought is everybody at some time has a moment where they are not at their best and they make the wrong decisions. And instead of admitting it and just saying, I fucked up and apologizing, they come at you the wrong way. They spread rumors and dig themselves into a deeper hole, as well as the other person or people involved. So this
Right.
is where the struggle gets real, Mandy. Now, see, the old me back then was very confused. I felt like I had done something wrong, like I had asked for it somehow, and I reevaluated myself for several years. I actually stopped going to church. I stopped ministering to people. I stopped so many things because of that one situation. I didn't go to church for a long time. I wouldn't go to church. I was honestly afraid to a certain extent. It was very...
Were you afraid of him, or were you just afraid of, like, how could a person that's supposed to be in the ministry come at me like this?
That was pretty much the overall thing. It was more so the whole situation, because again, it was the pastor who I saw as a father figure coming at me in a intent of sexual intent. That's number one. Then his wife, along with his daughter mainly, came at me in a negative way, as if they were trying to do me harm. His wife wanted to curse me. His daughter tried to fight me. And these again are people that I ate with. I slept in the same house as them. We had gone on trips together over the years, 3-4 years since I had been in Georgia. So you can imagine, when I thought I had family, they turned into be some kind of mortal enemy. It was a scary situation for me. And again, I'm in my early 20s at the time, so it's totally new for me. I'm used to at the time, I'm used to that close-knit family and the people that you bring in, they're your family. The church that I went to in North Carolina, shout to Christ Bible Teaching Center. Excuse me for raising my wine glass, but it's all good. The church I went to in North Carolina, in Wingate, Christ Bible Teacher Center, was the first church I ever really totally gave myself over to. And that was a church where I felt like it was the ultimate love given to me without question. No matter what I did or what happened, they still showed me that they loved me and cared for me. My mom goes to that church, and my grandmother goes right now. And it's still the same thing. They're continuously showing love. They're continuously showing their good heart in a godly manner. So for me to come here,
like they should.
Exactly. So for me to come here and experience something like that was a complete shock. And like I said, something that I totally did not expect. And it just threw me off, So when people see me now, and when I was in college, I was going to this particular church, they used to call me Baby Jesus. So now if somebody sees me out I know, girl, don't joke. I used to wear long skirts down to my ankles, totally plain face, plain Jane. I have on big t-shirts 2 times as small, because they were teaching you modesty, you know what I'm saying? About not trying to flaunt your body. So you imagine walking around with a skirt that's 2 times too big for you, all the way down to your ankles, with a shirt. I'm a size 6, so I'm wearing an extra large shirt. I can't imagine why somebody would assume that I'm giving off any kind of sexual innuendos in this plus size outfit I had on. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get the image. That's why it's so funny.
Girl, it was, girl. I worked at CDC for 11 years, and to this day, Sharon O'Brien, if you out there, send a shout out, girl. She is the first one of my big sisters who always brings it up. She says, Adrienne, I remember the first day I saw you with that long skirt on. She said, I wonder what you was doing with yourself. She asked me to this day. She still asks me what I was doing that long skirt on. But,
oh my goodness,
girl, it was hilarious. But, one thing I really want to bring this episode up for, again, is one, to show that we all out here are having different issues and situations. So it's not just you. And this show is supposed to be a way for us to air out our issues and get some confidence behind us and our decisions, as well as some thoughts and maybe some good judgment, as well as a little entertainment, of course. But overall, hopefully it's a way for you to heal to a certain extent. So with this being said, I want to tell this pastor, and if any of the members are my friends on Facebook or whatever channel you might see this on, or social media, please forward it to this person and tell them I forgive them. You know, no hard feelings. I'm fine as hell. So I don't blame you for wanting me. But at the same time,
go, girl.
I mean, let's be real. If I stood up right now, you might be wanting to come get me too, some of y'all viewers. So God bless. But at the same time, you know, I forgive you. It's no hard feelings. Will I forget? Never. Because you pretty much soiled my vision of what a spiritual father could be. But thank God for people like Pastor David, or Bishop David Allen, out in Wingate, North Carolina, at Christ Bible Teaching Center, who teaches and who kind of shows that real fatherly love for people like me and others in his flock, who he really sees as people he should be leaving and not trying to sleep with. So anyway.
The shade.
Oh, it's so cool under there. Oh, no, seriously. All jokes aside, it's forgiven, not forgotten. Followers, viewers, please give your comments about this topic. We want to know, 1, should it be forgiven and forgotten? 2, should it just be forgiven, as I've chosen to do, which is my answer, B, to forgive but not forget? Or 3, should it all be forgotten? Meaning, like, I forget you, I forget the situation. If I ever saw you again, I'm going to pretend I don't know you. Dude, you invisible to me.
Right.
I mean, I went like that for a couple years, but, you know, I'm grown now, and I've matured. So, I stopped wanting to slash tires and things like that. So, anyway. So, anyway, guys, please respond. We will be answering questions, and we look to hear from you. And thank you so much for your time. Mandy, do you have anything to say before we go?
No, I'm just excited about what's to come.
All right, guys. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us for our first webisode. And we'll be coming next week with a new one. So you guys have a good one. God bless. Night.
Good night.